Cool. All right, so we'll give folks a chance to filter in here. So go ahead and say hi as you join. Let us know where you're joining from. Hey, John. Where are you calling in from? Hello, Francisco. Thank you. We're very happy to be back. Excited to be able to do this again. So yeah, go ahead and say hi as you're joining. Let us know where you're joining from. And if you do have questions and you already know what you wanted to ask, go ahead and drop them in the comments section, and we'll address them in a bit. Can you guys hear me okay, by the way? Let me know how the audio sounds. Nice. Jersey. Cool. All right. Let me bring this screen back over here. Bring this guy back over. Awesome. I think we should be good then. Cool, cool, cool. All right, got a couple more people coming in. Audio is good, fantastic. Oh, and I'll say, I mentioned this the last time that we did this stream. There's a lag from when you type your question to when it appears for me in the chat, and then with the way that the streaming works, there's a lag from when I reply to when you hear it. So we have like a double lag going on. So cool. From Seoul, that's fantastic. Peter, welcome. Super cool. You know, I gotta say, it's interesting because we on our analytics, we see that like the majority of our community members are in the United States, but it's funny, like a lot of the comments that we get on our videos and the people that we've had in the live streams are from all over the world. So it's actually really neat to see where everybody's calling in from. Fantastic. All right. Very, very cool. Okay, sweet. So it looks like people are starting to filter in. Like I said, if you have specific questions, go ahead and ask them. And then also, as we're getting ready to get kicked off here, if you know any friends either that are community members on the channel or people that you think that might appreciate learning a little bit more, or you know they have some questions and stuff that they would want to know, send them a link and let's all chat in real time here. I think it'll be fun. We were having a lot of fun the last time we did this, so I think it'll be a good time. Cool. We're at 07 now. It's 4:07 now. I'm in Denver here, so we're in Mountain Time. Let's give it just 2 or 3 more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Sydney, Australia. That's so cool. That's exactly what I was saying. It's so funny. Like our analytics say like by far our people are calling it are viewing from the United States, but a much more international audience than the analytics would lead us to believe, which is really, really cool. Awesome. Sweet. So you know what? I'll go ahead and start just poking around a few things here that I wanted to show you guys while we're letting folks filter in. So for those of you that are not familiar with our page, we recommend you check it out, woodlandpools.net. San Francisco, welcome, Tony. So for those of you that are not familiar, have not been to our site, it's sort of a good starting place where you can find some of our videos and stuff, but our Delegator tools are the ones that might be really useful for you guys. And as I mentioned last time, if you come to our playlist, you can actually, we have videos set aside in specific playlists for you all. And here, the Cardano staking tools and calculators will show you how to actually, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me close this guy. I need to actually click on here, view full playlist. So here, the tools and calculators here, this will show you how to actually use these different tools. They're pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions for the explanation of the Cardano delegation cycle, how long from when you delegate to when your first payout might be, and then this one, the staking rewards and fees estimator, which will give you an estimate on a pool that you delegate to, what are the kind of fees and rewards that you can expect. And so those walk you through how to use the 2 different tools here. So if we look at the rewards estimator, let's take a look at that one real quick. So you can come here, you can type in any pool. So if we type in our ASPEN stake pool, and you say how much you want to delegate. So let's say you wanted to delegate 1,000 ADA. You hit calculate, And what it'll do here is it gives you a few things. You can see here based on, it'll give you actually a history of the recent epochs that the pool has produced or has validated blocks. This is not right. I wonder if there's something going on with the tool here. That doesn't seem right. I'm gonna have to check with Jaren on what's going on here with this. But in any case, so we may have like a bug that we need to get fixed in this. But the idea though is that you'll come in, you'll pick the pool, you put how much you want to delegate, you hit calculate, and then it'll tell you the fixed fee for that epoch, the variable fee for that epoch, and then the average return on stake for that pool. You can see here, this is definitely not right. If I come over to here, like on ADAPools, you can see the lifetime is 4.69 ROS, but that's because if you look here, we had this like drought before the pool really took off where we weren't getting any blocks to validate. So I'm gonna have to follow up with Jaren about what's going on here. But in any case, you can see the live stake, the rewards. I do think. So I think when you're using the tool here, the only thing that you might want to watch out for is just this average ROS. We're gonna have to get that fixed. But all these other figures for like the specific to the epoch figures, those all look accurate because you see here the rewards you would get that epoch, the ROS you would get that epoch, and then you can also change it for different epochs too. So this is for 262, but you can also look at 261, so you can see how your rewards would have changed for that epoch relative to other ones. So pretty straightforward, and you can click off of here and you can check out any other pool. So if you're like deciding between different pools and trying to figure out which one you want to delegate to, you can check out a few different ones here and see you can see some estimates on what to expect for both the fees that they might charge and how that factors into the rewards that you get. So we got a few more people joining. England, very cool, and Chicago, very, very cool. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining. Like I said, put in any questions as you have them. We're just past 10, so 6:10 Eastern, 4:10 here. So let me switch over and say welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Welcome back to Woodland Pools. We're really excited to have you guys. Obviously, we tried to put together, we did put together a live stream to celebrate our 1,000 subscribers. And then as most of you know, we ran into some weird AI bot flagging that put us down for about 5 days, but we're back and we figured, you know what, let's get right back to it. We got an apology from YouTube saying, sorry, that was a mistake on our side and you should be good to go for future live streams. So we figured let's finish the live stream that we were having a good time doing. So welcome back. We're so excited to have you. And it's funny because when we did that live stream, we were, let me share my screen again. When we did that live stream, we were celebrating crossing the threshold of 1,000 subscribers, and we're now almost up to 1,500. So things are going really well. And what I'll say too is that if you guys appreciate the work we do here and like the kind of content that we put out, please share the channel with a friend. Let them know about the stuff we do. Send them, if there's specific videos you find useful, you think that they might find useful, feel free to share it with your friends. As you're filtering in, if you have specific questions, please feel free to let us know. If not, there's just a few things that I wanted to show you. We covered a lot of stuff in our last Q&A, so I don't want to repeat all of it, but let me know if you either missed the last one or if you have specific questions. Let me know if you have specific stuff that you want me to cover, and I'll be happy to dig into whatever questions you guys have. UAE. Man, this is so cool. Literally from all over the world. That's so neat. Okay. So a couple of other things I wanted to show you guys. For those of you that are delegators, if you want to see how to visualize how the pool is doing, you can, there's a few different sites you can check out. So if you come to, we were just looking at ADAPools, so let's look there again. You go to adapools.org, you can search for the pool. So you would find our ASPEN stake pool here. And then you can see some of these stats that I've shown in previous live streams. You can see them here. So you can see the amount of delegators, how the stake is increasing. This red line is kind of hard to see, is the actual blocks that were validated during that epoch. So you see here, like we had this drought here, and then, got one, missed one, got one, missed one. And by missed one, I mean, because it's based on probability, we didn't actually get a block to validate that time. So then we see here, like, then we got 2, which was really exciting. Back down to 1, we got 2 again. So yeah, a good way to see that. You can see the blocks themselves and the different epochs that they were produced in. Again, I'm not sure what's going on here. This should show the 2 blocks. Oh, sorry, this is an actual date. This isn't by epoch. So, okay, so this shows you on each date the blocks that were made. So you can, if you like the layout and the UI here on ADAPools, you can come here. You can also, and also, by the way, this is the Pools ID that you can use. If we can go to PoolTool, you can see you can use the same ID, and you can visualize it on PoolTool as well. This one's a little bit clearer in terms of the blocks that are produced, but you can see here this blue line is the delegation. You can see it here. It's been increasing steadily. Here is the block trend itself. Like what? Sorry, this is a return on stake. So you can see here the ROS trend. And then here you can see the actual, for each epoch, the amount of blocks that were produced and the return on stake and all of that. You can also see, which is kind of interesting, which is kind of fun, you can come here to the Delegators page. And if we click on, let me move this out of the way. If we come here and we click here, you can actually see all of the Delegators here. So we have our top Delegator is at about 1 million ADA. But if you look all the way down, keep going. I mean, we have, these are fractions that are left in wallets for people that have sold or transferred, but we have people that, you know, are delegating 9, 10, 12 ADA. So if you watch the channel and you don't have very much ADA and you're not sure if it's, you know, worth your while delegating, you know, risk-free rewards are risk-free rewards. There's no reason not to, right? So we have delegators of all sizes, and we welcome everybody to join us on the journey here. So let's see, we had a question here. If return on stake is 5% and the variable fee is 3%, does that mean the delegators are receiving 2% in the delegated ADA? So, so no. The way that works, let's go back to the tool. So the way that works is, actually it's here. Oh, and by the way, for your question there, we actually have a video. If you look at this video here, the staking rewards explained, we'll go through this there too, but I'll give you a quick summary. If we come back here to the rewards estimator and type in ASPEN, what you can see here is, let's say you're delegating 10,000. What you can see here is that for this last epoch, the rewards that were given to the pool were about 1,100 ADA. 340 was taken as the fixed fee. And then our fee here was only 0.5%. So then after that, what was left after the fixed fee is removed from the total rewards, we took 0.5% of what was left, which came out to about 5 ADA. So after the 345 was removed, this is what's left to split between everybody in the pool. So this, the ROS here, for example, of the 5.169, that was the ROS for all of the delegators, that is the rewards that were left for the delegators after the pool operator fees were removed. So when you see, for example, ours here is 0.5%, but like if you see a pool, for example, that their variable fee, like you were asking, let's say it's like 5%, right? And if you saw that the return on stake for that epoch was also 5%, it's not like it's 5 minus 5 is 0. It's that even after they took out their fixed fee, and then after that they took the 5% of what was left, then what was left, then the return, the calculated annual return of return on stake for everybody, after that, what remained was still a 5% ROS. So hopefully that helps clarify. So good question. Let me know if you have any other questions. Couple things I wanted to continue showing here. Oh, in terms of like some of the news and stuff, where we normally, a lot of times you'll see us referencing these different blog post articles. I wanted to show you guys where to find this. If you come to iohk.io, you can go to their blogs section, and here you can see some really good blog posts. They're usually, and they tell you too how long you have, 4-minute read, for example, 7-minute read. Usually pretty quick reads, but if you want to stay on top of some of this stuff in between our weekly recaps, you can come and check those out there. But yeah, this is a really good way to stay up to date with everything. Yeah, so that's there. Yeah, cool, good, glad that helped. The other thing is we went into detail about the Africa special on our last weekly recap video. But here I wanted to show you the page here, the Africa special page that we had talked about. If there's any specific topics there, because we covered a lot, right? We talked about the Ethiopia deal, the World Mobile deal in Tanzania. So if you have specific stuff that you wanted to drill into more, you should come and check out africa.cardano.org. They've done a good job here of building this page out. And there are, here we go, highlight clips for each section, which will actually take you to a small highlight of the YouTube video that shows you the details of that segment. So like Atala, for example, Yeah, here we go. So Atala Prism, if you're curious about how Atala works, whatever else, you can just come here and it'll show you a nice little clip about the Atala portion. What else? We can come and do some, we'll look at the ADA price here in a second. Yeah, cool. Oh, and I do also want to say, another thing I want to say is thank you all so much for your support. For those of you that, Francisco, for example, was saying welcome back. For those of you that were maybe watching us in our last live stream and were as surprised as we were when we got incorrectly terminated by the AI bot, I want to say thank you guys so much. Thank you, all of you out there, seriously. The support that you guys showed on Twitter and then messages that you sent us, that was really great. And we really think that it was a big part of how we got back up and running so quickly. Because the team YouTube, like they're an active team on Twitter, and they're actually like watching the traffic that goes on there. And so you guys vouching for us and saying, hey, no, this is a real channel. It's not like a dangerous or spam channel. We really appreciate it. All right. Any other questions? Oh, and let's do this. We've got, we're up to like 15 or 20 viewers. If you guys could like the video as well. And like I said, if you have any friends that you think might have some questions that they want to get answered, feel free to share it with them. But let's take a look here. We can take a look at the ADA price. Why not? So this is interesting. We've been talking for a while about how we were, and for weeks now actually, for those of you that have been watching our recap and have seen me kind of be like a bit of a broken record, saying that, hey, we're in this range here, and so keep doing what you're doing. Like I always say, long-term stakers keep on staking. Dollar cost average people keep on doing dollar cost average buys. But if we look, we've seen a pretty decisive break up here, and it's been driven by this really strong push that we're seeing from Ethereum. So really cool stuff here to see ADA finally breaking above these railroad tracks. So we'll want to keep an eye on this. So here's where, like we'd said on the weekly recaps, right, where it sounded like we were being redundant because the market, at least the Cardano market, was being redundant, right? But now that we see that we've kind of broken above here, we're going to want to just watch and see. And the important thing that we always say is that it's not so much about trying to predict the future and trying to like make sure that you have to be right for something to go well. Let's just focus on the long term and like where we're, make some long-term plans that we can stick to and follow. And then from there, let's make a plan that we're planning on following with specific levels and time horizons and everything. And so when things happen that pass our different like triggers, these different milestones, then we just respond accordingly, right? So if we're doing like dollar cost average buys, then let's keep doing those. If it comes up here, then that's the nature of dollar cost averaging, right? Is that like if you were buying weekly, right, then maybe you bought. Let me actually undo these. Hold on, that jumped me back to the wrong screen. But so let me get rid of this guy. Is that going to let me highlight it? Oh, come on. This. There we go. So the nature of dollar cost averaging, though, right, is that like if you bought, let's say you bought at the end of the close, like right on like Sunday or whatever, then yeah, you got a little bit here. Oh, that was bad. Then you got a little bit cheaper here, then even cheaper here. So that's the nature of how dollar cost averaging works, right? Then it kind of started going up or whatever, and then now, yeah, we're getting a little bit pricier. But there's nothing to say that it won't come back down, right? We are building some nice volume in this area, which gives us a bit of confidence that if we can decisively break above these railroad tracks, that we would probably find some kind of resistance here, but there's no guarantee of that. So we want to just keep following our plan. If you do dollar cost average buys, just do the best thing too to remove your emotions from it is just do it the same time of day and the same day of the week or the day of the month every week or month, and just be consistent about it. Remove your emotions from it and just do it that way. But let's watch and see what happens here. For those of you that are trying to take like nibble dollar cost average profits along the way, this is the time where as we're seeing this breaking up, as we're seeing this breaking past the railroad tracks, this is where you should be thinking to yourself, what are the levels, what are the milestones that would trigger me to then start slowly selling a little bit? There's no wrong answer there. You have to decide for yourself on what your plan is. But the most important thing is no matter what your plan is, no matter what those different levels and triggers are, the important thing is that you think about it when you're thinking calmly and rationally. And then from there, just make sure that you're just following that plan when that time comes. As we always say, the squiggly lines on the chart are the easy part. The hard part is controlling your emotions when it comes to that time. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. All right, we got more people coming in. Yeah, big fight going on with the all-time high. Yeah, I mean, so here's our prior all-time high at $1.40, and we see that we're now past that. Here's the thing though, right? The important thing too to keep in mind, and why we want to make sure that we're managing our emotions appropriately, is because if you look here, like right now, yeah, we're decisively above these railroad tracks, but we were also decisively above these railroad tracks here and here and here and here and here and here. All of these times, these are all weekly candles. If you would have tuned in right at that time, you would have probably gotten that emotional hit of like, oh wow, we're going above here pretty decisively. So keep in mind, weekly candles, make sure that you're checking in roughly around the same time each week too, and don't get too worried about what happens intra-week if you're thinking about long-term time frames. So yeah, we're looking here to struggle with the all-time high, but as of right now, we're above it. So let's check in on Sunday for the recap, and we'll see where we're at. Oh, that reminds me, we'll probably end up filming the recap on Saturday, because Sunday's Mother's Day, and Mom will be mad if I'm filming a YouTube video instead of spending time with her. So you guys will have to forgive me. If anything dramatic happens with the price on Sunday, that might be why the video seems a little bit dated, but we'll still get the recap out. It'll be published on Sunday, but I'll probably film it on Saturday afternoon or Saturday night. Mike says, love the channel. Good job. Thanks, Mike. Really appreciate it. Julia, hello from Massachusetts. Lots of people I know are asking questions about Cardano. Yeah, so Mike, if you know some of those people, send them over here. I mean, we'll probably be live for another 20 minutes or so. Send them over here. Tell them to ask their questions. Rajesh calling in from India. So cool. We have so many people calling in from around the world. This is fantastic. Great. Keep saying hello as you're joining. Let us know where you're joining from. This is a lot of fun. So great. I just wanted to go over that with you guys. Like I said, the name of the game here is just emotional and anxiety management. That's all there is really to investing or trading. Find a strategy that you like. And if you want to find, for us, we deliberately try and not dive too much into price action. We have our own strategies and things that we do to manage our own, where we buy and where we sell. I mean, you can see here some of my fibs that I have drawn on here. You can see here, I have like an alert here for if we ever get back down to this level. So you can get an idea of where I'm interested in getting back in. But, make sure you find a strategy that you like. Think about it when you're rational. Write it down, like actually have it written down, and then just follow that plan. What I wanted to show last time, however, when we were doing our live stream, was, let me see if it'll let me do it this time. We were having an issue with TradingView that day. But what I was saying was, in terms of, well, actually, hold on, let me do first things first. Let me make sure this works, and then, okay, great, I can already tell it's gonna work. Fantastic. So, okay, come on. So that's that. How do I get out of here? Do you want to exit? Yes. Okay, what I was saying was, when we talk about dollar cost averaging, and we talk about how that's a good, unemotional way to get into the market and to be acting responsibly, what I was saying was, for us, we've been involved in dollar cost averaging into ADA and buying into Cardano since way back here, right? So for us, literally, it was just, these are all weekly, so these are all, and that's the other thing, these are weekly candles, guys. You're not looking at an hourly chart. I mean, this is, and we looked at this the other time too, but just for the sake of looking at this again, we were on this downtrend from here to, let's say, the March capitulation of last year, 791 weeks, right? So that's like 2.5 years that we were on this downtrend. And even then, that's 2.5 years. And then from there until we had this decisive breakout, well, actually, let's just leave it here, where the decisive breakout here, that was 1,000. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. You're right. 791. That was days, but that was still like 2.5 years. So there's 1,000 days, 154 weekly bars. So there's about 3 years that if you had been dollar cost averaging from here, that you would have been weekly, just buying and waiting and waiting and waiting. And so what I want to say is that, like, yeah, I know that it can be kind of frustrating. When you say, man, I wish I had gotten in down here, and like, oh, sure, it's really easy for you guys to say, hey, dollar cost average and take your time. but you guys were able to get down here, so you've already been along for this ride, but I'm just now joining here, right? And I get that, I totally do. But what I wanted to keep in mind is, and this is what I was trying to show the last time we were streaming, what I want you guys to keep in mind is that this is where we're at now, and we have the benefit of hindsight, let's say. But when we were doing the dollar cost averaging during this time, this is not what the chart looked like, right? The chart, looked like this. Okay? So think about how different this world looks when all you've been doing week after week, right? Let me even zoom in here. Like, imagine, right? You're doing your dollar cost averaging, and then you think like, okay, it's going up, and then it's like, nope, right back down again, and you're like, oh, okay, then it's going up, nope, right back down again, right? And I think we should be able, here we go, so play. And then you can just see here that it's like, okay, up, down, not quite. And even here, I actually probably even didn't go back far enough, because now you're clear to see this clear uptrend. But my point though is that like, we were down here for a while, and there was no like immediate guarantee that it was gonna be going up, and there was no like, we didn't know when it would be. But what we did was we made our plan, and we said we're just gonna keep dollar cost average buying while we're in this range, and then from there after that we'll wait and see where it goes. But that's what I'm getting at, is that like, it's about setting the plan, removing your emotions, and just following that plan. So for those of you that are just now getting in and you're thinking about dollar cost averaging, that's fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with dollar cost averaging up here, right? But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a long time horizon, so that if we do stay up here and it kind of goes up and it comes back down, then that's cool. But if the market does make a correction and comes down, and it doesn't have to even go down that far, right? Like, imagine if you were buying up here in this whole range, and we had a correction that took us down, let's say to like, even like 80 cents, right? From here. Let's say from where we're at right now. Actually, no, let's say like in the middle of this range, you've been dollar cost averaging here. That's still like a 30% correction, right? So that would kind of hurt to be in that situation, which is why you need to think about the long term. Remember, if you're ever here and you're kind of like doing a dollar cost average and it goes down, you're kind of feeling a little uncomfortable. Remember us when we were buying down here and we had no idea if and when it was going to go up. We believed in the project, but there's no guarantees in this whole thing. But the good thing though about the time we're spending here and the volume that we're building here is that if the Cardano project does work out the way that we all expect, or the way we all hope, and expect, right? Like, the news is nothing but good lately. You're probably going to be pretty happy with yourself for buying in this range. Like, I get that you might think like, man, I wish I could have been buying in at 3 and 5 and 10 cents. But think about it. Like, we're here between $1 and $1.30. For those of you that have been doing your dollar cost average buys, you've had months now of being able to buy in this range. If we do decisively move up, and then we see that by the end of this market cycle, think about it. If by the end of this market cycle, let's say Cardano comes up, or ADA comes up and peaks around like $5 to $8, and then corrects and stabilizes somewhere around here, you'll be pretty happy with yourself that you were slowly buying in around this $1 mark. So it's could have, would have, should have, like, wish I could have gotten in earlier. That's the thing. If that's the way you're feeling, that's how everyone has always felt for all of time. That's how I feel, for example, about Chainlink, to give you an idea, right? Like, we also invest in a couple of other coins, but like with Link, for example, by the time it was on my radar, it was already shooting up, and I'm like, man, I wish I would have bought Chainlink at, 70 cents or something. But whatever, these things happen. So what you do is you make a plan, you follow that plan, stay diligent, and sometimes some projects will take off without you, and you just, pick up on another one. But for us though, that's just like a side thing. Our main, personally, our main investment, and both with our time and in terms of like what we're doing, is ADA and Cardano, just because we really believe in the project, and obviously with the whole, like with running the pool and everything, it's just, that's where all of our focus is. None of this is financial advice. Do what's right for you. But just, some things to think about there. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have any specific questions about any of those things that I said, please feel free to drop them in the chat. But let me see what we've got here. Yeah, he says a lot of people don't want to wait for Moonbag. Yeah, totally, right? Like, there's a saying, I believe it's Warren Buffett, that said that the market is a mechanism of exchanging. It was something about like, the market is it's an efficient way of changing hands from the impatient to the patient, right? And so this is, again, I say this all the time, but make your plan, be diligent, just follow it. you know, like I said, us buying down here at like 2 and 3 cents, there was nothing that was fun about that. There's nothing that was sexy about that. But we believed, hey, this has to come back up to some amount, at least in the future. But there's no guarantee of that. The same way how, and I want to be super clear, just because I say it's probably not a terrible idea to set yourself on a dollar cost average plan, even if we're up here, as long as you have a time horizon that's a long time horizon, there's no guarantee that we'll ever go up past here, right? There's no guarantee that it doesn't come down and it never recovers again. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't think that's likely, but you need to make sure that you're okay with the risk of some of these things in case some of these corrections were to happen or you know, something were to play out that way. That's why if you haven't seen our video on making a plan, please check that out, because we go into all the dimensions you should be considering. And one of them is like your macro level risk of like, if this were to go poorly, you know, is that something that I would be comfortable with? And would I be putting myself in a complicated situation financially if that were to go that way? Okay. Make sure you are always investing, that you're never investing more than you are willing or able to lose. Okay. We're all involved in this because of the asymmetric upside potential, but make sure you're being responsible, please. Not financial advice, but you know, I will say it's free and easy to say, make sure you're not making rash decisions with your money. Okay. Let's try and be calm about it. Perth, Western Australia. Very cool. Yeah, so we've got about 30 people viewing right now. We've had people coming and going, but only 11 likes. Please hit the like button if you're enjoying the video or if you enjoy the channel. What else did I say? Oh, and yeah, if you're enjoying the stream, we'll be probably live for another 15-20 minutes. Feel free to share it with some friends who have questions and want to come in and ask questions too. And also, you know, like I said, sort of hopping back over to the channel, the reason why we did the original stream was to thank you all for your support to get past 1,000 subscribers. If you're enjoying the channel and you enjoy the content, you know, we get a lot of really nice comments about like, this channel is so great and it's helped me out so much. If it's helped you out, share it with your friends. Or if there's like a community that you normally chat in and you're like other people that are involved in crypto or Cardano, you know, share our videos, share our channel. We'll see it. That way we can help more people. Oh, and the other thing too that I hadn't mentioned yet, please make sure that you also join us in our Telegram channel. So let me... So you can see here, for example, we recently started our Telegram channel. We've had a lot of really good conversations going on there, people asking some really good questions. It's a good way for us to be able to chat in real time. If you want to ask some questions and want to hear back from us quicker than in the YouTube comments, and you don't necessarily want to wait until the next live stream. And also, in case there's ever any kind of like weird or unfair termination like what we had to deal with before, it's a way that we can stay in touch with you all and keep you posted. And also, we'll let you know when there's new videos or whatever and stuff there. Any stake pool updates and things between the weekly recaps, that's the best way to get a hold of us. So join our Telegram channel if you haven't yet. You know what I'll do? I will share that link here. Here's a link to our Telegram channel. So yeah, so join us there. Okay, cool. Thanks for the likes. Let's keep hitting those like buttons. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Uganda, very cool. And like I said, Perth, very good. I've met a few people from Perth, all very cool people. Not been to Uganda. As soon as smart contracts launches, it's game over. Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing, right? Is right now, to a certain degree, we would expect that this range that we're in here is also a certain like calm before the storm, right? Because if this run up is what we've gotten, really a big part of it. So this was March, right? Yeah. So something to think about is like if this was March of 2020, Shelly went live right around here. So we see this little blip with sort of the excitement around staking going live, and then this is kind of when the whole market started going nuts. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I would expect that as Alonzo gets closer with smart contracts, I would expect that we'll see probably a pretty good run up on the price. There's no guarantee, but I would not be surprised if that. So I would not be surprised if, in anticipation of smart contracts and good news being released, I would not be surprised if that's when we see a run up to like $2 or $3. That wouldn't be surprising at all. No guarantees, not financial advice, but that would not surprise me at all. One thing I would say to watch out for those of you that are trying to snipe like different levels and stuff, keep in mind what we've talked about before about this notion of if you haven't heard it, if you haven't heard it and you don't know it, you will definitely live it, and then you only have to learn it once for it to stick. is the notion of buy the rumor, sell the news. If I'm not mistaken, this was in the anticipation of the Coinbase listing. This like spike up and then right back down was anticipation of the Coinbase listing. And then this here, I can't remember what this correction was about, but it's very, very common that what you'll see is in anticipation of good news that everybody knows is coming out, the price will kind of go up in anticipation of that happening. And then when the news actually happens, then there's a sell-off because that price had already been baked in, right? Like, keep in mind, the market is a forward discounting mechanism. The market takes these things into account in the price at that time, okay? So when we're getting closer to Alonzo, I suspect the market will get excited and prices will be going up. But once again, be diligent, be careful, and act rationally. And don't think that just that means because, this happens to people all the time for new investors where they think, oh man, the price has gone up this much leading up to the announcement of smart contracts. Once the announcement comes out, the price will go up even more. And it usually doesn't play out that way. Usually it's baked in ahead of time. So keep that in mind. So be very, very careful. Let's see. Just staked ADA from the Daedalus wallet. So Daniel says, just stake ADA from the Daedalus wallet. Videos were a big help. Really, really glad to hear it. Very cool. Tassarak, hello again. Thank you for welcoming us back, and welcome back yourself. Good to see you again. What is the backup plan? What type of servers and where are they located? Electrical internet systems. Yeah, good question. How many relays do we run? Do we realize SPOs? Sorry, let me read these aloud because sometimes the live replay doesn't play. So let me make sure to read this well. What's the backup plan, or what kind of servers do we have? So this is a stake pool question, right? So for those of you that are delegating, we're happy to answer. What are the servers and where are they located? What kind of electrical and internet systems does it look like? Is it a data center? How many relays do we run? Do we have a relay alliance with other SPOs? Those are stake pool operators. If you ever see the abbreviation SPO. What if the data center goes down? Yeah, so lots of great questions. Lots of great questions. Our stake pool is run off of virtual machines. We have 2 relays. Both of them right now are in the New York area. One of the things we're actually chatting with Jaren about is we're going to take at least one relay and put it overseas for some redundancy there. Yeah, and it's through DigitalOcean, which is like very reliable provider. So we're good to go there. The other thing too is we have tools. We have stake pool operator tools that we work with that let us know when we can expect our block assignments. Those aren't necessarily publicly available, but if you run a stake pool, there are tools that you can integrate into your server so that you can see when your block assignments are going to be. And so in the event of some kind of an outage or anything like that, in addition to the fact that we have 24/7 alerting that would let us know something went on, we can very quickly spin up another pool in a different location from a snapshot of a previous pool, and we would be able to do that in time because we know when our actual block validations are coming up. So really good questions. If you have any other questions about the stake pool, let us know. And any other questions, go ahead and drop them in here. So Brian, the news has already happened. It's correcting to the upside. Yeah, great point. And so Brian brings up a good point here, right? From months of consolidation, right? We are from months of consolidation, we're now starting to break upwards, right? Potentially in anticipation of some of this good news. What I would say though is that we're also seeing Ethereum break up, and you're not necessarily seeing the kind of behavior from Bitcoin. So what I would theorize is that Bitcoin did its big run up. It's been doing its consolidation. Usually the pattern that you see is that as it's like Bitcoin will do a run, right? Once Bitcoin calms down, then the other altcoins can then start playing around. And in terms of altcoins, usually the leader in that would be Ethereum. And then once Ethereum does its move, then other altcoins start following. And so then here we see now that Cardano is trying to poke its head up and see if it can go anywhere. But so this move, I would suspect, is maybe partially due to the African news, but I wouldn't discount the fact that Ethereum is going on a great run. And a lot of people are viewing Cardano and ADA as a strong competitor to Ethereum. Wouldn't surprise me if this is correlated to that, but I would suspect that. So we're now in early May. The testing and everything for Alonzo was planning on happening through June and July. So end of August into September is when it was like initially projected that maybe that's when Alonzo might go live. I would not be surprised to see the price slowly start ticking up and then take off more in like August or so when we're getting closer to that date. You did that before you bought it at 144. Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing is, that look, if you FOMO in and you buy like way up here, right? That's, you know, here's the what I always say, right? We are all emotional creatures, right? Like humans are emotional pack creatures, right? If you make a mistake, that's fine. Just make sure you don't make two mistakes, right? Like if you, let's say for example, let's say you FOMO bought here, right? Like right here at, what is this, like 146? Because you're like, oh, it's going to go up. And then all of a sudden you see it like turning back down. If you don't need that money right away, which hopefully you don't, right? Because everybody in this channel, we should all be thinking about long-term investments. If you don't need that money right away, don't freak out if it comes back down to here. And then don't make one mistake into two. Don't make your FOMO buying mistake turn into then a FOMO, you know, to a fear selling mistake down here. And then you've lost all of this. When, if you say, look, I'm in this for the long term anyway, I bought up here, then just ride it out. You know, it might come down, it might hang out here for months. There's no guarantee. But if the Cardano project and if ADA plays out the way that we all hope that it will likely in the long term bail you out. So there are probably better times than just buying just up here without a plan. Make sure you have a logical, consistent plan you can follow. But if you do make a mistake and you do a FOMO buy and you let your emotions get ahead of you, it's happened. Honestly, it's happened to all of us. Don't let one mistake turn into two, and don't then like sell because you're scared on the way down. Not financial advice. Only you can decide what's right for you and your finances, but that's at least how we try and handle those situations. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Yahya, because it's really hard also, like as humans too, because we're social creatures, it's hard to like admit when you make a mistake or when you do something wrong. It's not fun, right? Like it's not a good feeling. So that's really cool. Like, you know, look, applause to you. Genuinely. Thank you for sharing that, because other people in the chat are seeing that, and I guarantee you some of them have made similar mistakes and they're probably too scared to like say it. And I think this conversation is helpful for a lot of people, just knowing these things happen. Let's just act rationally whenever we can, and if we slip up, that's fine. Let's just, then from that point, let's try and keep acting rationally. So thanks a lot for sharing that. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Tesseract, yeah, happy to answer. Let's see. The goal right now. Cool. Your goal is to get to 50K ADA. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, so the name of the game there, right, is pick your levels, slowly move into the market, and slowly but surely, you know, just keep at it. Cool. Glenn holding 5K ADA. Hey, any ADA you have is more than not, right? And like we said, like for some of you that are just now joining, we have a lot of people that ask us and say like, hey, you know, we had one guy that recently asked and said, hey, I only have, what do you say? I only have like 90 ADA. Is it worth delegating? And it's like, well, yeah, you know what I mean? Like whatever you're holding, like there's no reason to just let it sit there and not be gaining risk-free rewards for you, right? Remember that when you delegate from your wallet, nothing leaves your wallet. Everything's always on your wallet. So why not? You know, you have to pay, I think, 1 ADA for a fee to get it off the exchange. Then you have to pay like about less than 1 ADA, like 0.17 ADA to delegate. And then I think there's a 2 ADA deposit that you pay. So grand total from getting it off the exchange to the deposit to delegating to your stake pool, it'll cost you total less than 5 ADA total. And then from there, you're going to be getting anywhere between 4 to 6% return on stake annualized. So why not, right? Definitely. Brian says anything under 150 is a good buy on ADA, buy and hold. Yeah, I think again, just personal opinion, this thing, the charts in the market don't care what my opinion is, right? They don't care what any of our opinions are. You know what they say about opinions, everyone has one. I'll leave it at that. But, you know, the market doesn't care what we think about it. It's going to do whatever it wants to do. But if I had to guess, if you're just asking for me to just speculate, I think that if you have a proper time horizon and you're not in a rush and you're not letting one bad decision turn into two, ADA and Cardano will probably bail you out in the long run, even if you made a mistake and bought up here. And it's not even necessarily a mistake. Whatever your plan is, you know, you do you. All right, let's see. Tiggle Tiger started buying at 27 cents. Nice. Bought as high as 150. Then bought 90% during the crypto winter. Nice. Yep. So Tiger there has Oh, nice. And then purple also bought. Yeah. So buy, hold on, and then just ride it out. And that means that if you're buying up here, I've said this a few times now, but I know people are coming and going. Yeah. So look, you're jealous, and I get it, and that's my whole point of what I was saying. He is jealous because of those of us that bought down here, because they're just getting in up here. But if everything goes the way that we hope it will, right? And someday we're like up here, right? Then people will be jealous of you. And this is the thing to keep in mind. Let's see if it looks better if I go to log. Yeah. Actually, no, that's fine. Let's go back to the other one. Here's the thing to keep in mind, right? What I would say is the exact same. So this is, and then I'll drop this point, I promise. The exact same thing that I was saying about how all of us that bought down here, how some of you are saying, oh, I'm so jealous because I'm buying now way up here at 20, 30, 50 times more than the price that you paid. I get that, but it was not fun and it was not easy to buy down here when there's no guarantee of going back up. So now, for those of you that are consolidating and buying here, right, there's no guarantee. And I hope that you're aware of this when you're doing it. There is no guarantee that this isn't like the global forever top and it never comes back again. Do I think that's the truth? No. But is it possible? Absolutely. So there's no guarantee that says that you're going to make money because you buy in this range. The likelier outcome is that it does go up, and if and when it does, and like we're now up in this range, like my beautiful blow off top that I drew here, if we find ourselves up in this range here, then you will be the one that people are jealous of, right? When it's up at like $8, $9, $10, who knows where it'll go, who knows how long it'll take, but let's say 5-10 years from now, and we're up at these prices, then people will be jealous of you, and they'll be like, man, I wish I'd bought it at $1. And then you'll remember this moment where you're like, man, I don't know, I was feeling pretty dumb because I bought it at 144. You'll be pretty happy with yourself if you are just disciplined, take your time, and just have a consistent plan that you're following day in and day out. Okay, I'll drop it, promise. But yeah. Vinny Moon finally made it to a live stream. All in with ADA, buy every week. Yeah, exactly. When it goes up, we'll all be happy that we bought at this level. If it goes up, I'll say that. I believe that it will. But that's just my belief, and it means nothing, and the market doesn't care what I think. I think there's a lot of good fundamental reasons why it would. This African news is just one of them. There's a lot of great stuff going on. We'll have to wait and see. All right. Could it? So 55 Porter is asking if it could realistically 50x from here. So I think the way. So I mean, now we're talking about. Oh wait, so hold on. 50x in 1 to 2 years? I don't think so. I mean, so let's keep in mind. So we'll slightly shift gears here. Let's keep in mind that from a price appreciation standpoint, from the and this is only a year ago that we were down here. We were down at. I want to make sure you guys can see this. I always do this, and I kind of. Okay, cool. You can still see that. So let's not forget that we were at like under 2 cents just over a year ago, and then up to here was now with our new all-time high we did a couple weeks ago was over a 9,000% gain. That's if you went from the lowest tail to the highest peak, right? So that's already what is that, 90x? If it can do 50 more from here in the next 1 to 2 years, I really, really don't think so. And so be careful of that to keep your expectations in check, right? Like when you hear like some of these other YouTube people, they're trying to get you all excited and saying, oh, we're gonna get a $50. Well, I guess 50x, there you go. $50 Cardano this market cycle or ADA. I don't think so. I really don't. Long term, 10, 20 years from now, maybe. Who knows? But that's one of those things where now you're extrapolating out so far, and there's so many other global conditions that could change things between now and then. Who knows? If we're talking about shorter time frames, I think that during this market cycle, which who knows where the peak is, we could have already had it. I don't think that's true, but it could have happened. It could be that was it. It could be later this year. It could be in 2022. Whenever that happens, the longer it takes, the better chances we have of going higher. I think anywhere between like, let's say $4 to $8 or so for this market cycle is reasonable. I think $2 to $3 in the next year or so is very reasonable, but reasonable doesn't mean guaranteed. So, but I don't think that 50x from here is something that we can count on. I mean, just because we've already gone up 90x, right? So let's keep our expectations in check. And I'm glad you asked, because that's a thing that we need to be careful about. Cardano takes a year, so trading ADA, monthly or weekly doesn't make sense. Trading ADA, a type of token codes available for trading gains. Yeah, totally agree. True to me, totally agree. ADA, yeah, so exactly. You know, our channel is focused on growing our investment with confidence and doing so in a deliberate and slow manner. It is especially so and compounded with ADA and Cardano, right? Like, we are strong believers in the Cardano mission and the project. And our investment in ADA, and you can actually see our pool stake went up recently because we bought more, is a reflection of that. Will we ever cash out some of our pledge? Yeah, absolutely. Do we plan on doing it anytime soon? No, we don't. And the reason is, for exactly what true to me, what you were just saying, is that we view ADA and Cardano as a long-term project that has really great prospects for many, many years, and by that I mean decades to come. And the fact that, like, with staking, your return on stake is anywhere between 4 to 6%, then what's the rush? You know, like, if you believe that the price of ADA is going to appreciate, which we do, and during that time, you're also annually getting between 4 and 6%, then that's compounding, right? Like, because you're getting this, obviously the compounding interest, but then also the price of your coins are appreciating. So yeah, we have other coins that we follow that we actually do trades on. But I mean, just like me personally, just for fun. But even then, those are like long-term, like swing trades. Like, try and buy when it seems like a good idea to buy. Like, I personally use Fibonacci's, like down in these, like, will be these reload zones here, and then when they're like kind of getting up and extended, then look at like letting some go. But for ADA, no. I mean, I like personally, I have no intention of selling anytime soon. And so what you see, like the pledge in our pool just continues to go up. Like, even though like our investment is up by a lot, we haven't taken any profits from it because it's, you know, we just have no interest in it. We're something we're holding for a long time. I think personally we're just getting started with this African news and some of this other stuff. I think we're just getting started on the good news and the fundamentals that are going to drive this. So yeah, totally agree. Yeah, ADA's a long-term hold. Cool. Glad you like the answer. I like when I give answers and people like it because it's like, who knows, right? I'm just kind of here just talking. But good. Glad it's helpful. Glad you liked it. All right, John. Holding your ADA for the long run. Believe Mr. Charles Hoskinson, the entire Cardano ecosystem, Cardano is the future. Yeah, you know, it's exciting. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. You know, like I say, I talked about this a little bit in the Africa special, so I'll sidestep here a little bit and where's my backdrop that I can use here? I'll say, like, I was actually in the Peace Corps for 2 years in Ghana, and when I lived there, like, you know, there was a lot, men and women, right? I talked about the market ladies in the recap, but there's a lot of people there that are like trying really hard to like get ahead. But like the village that I lived in was like a 2-day bus ride from the nation's capital, and you know, there was like no electricity. Okay, some places had electricity. There was no running water. You know, and so in those places, like my best friend there, the guy's name was Boo Boo. He had like a cell phone recharge stand, and he would sell like scratch cards, like for like prepaid scratch cards for cell phones. And for him, like, there were several times that he wanted to expand his operations, and he wanted to, you know, either have a capital investment to buy more phones, to actually sell cell phones and not just the scratch cards, or get like a bigger stand where he can do stuff. And he had no good way of getting those funds. There was no good way of him to like take out a loan because because there was no way, because he didn't have like a bank account that he could do that with, and there was no way that he could like interface with somebody who could wire him funds that he could use, right? And there was no good way to pay that back. But now, with the stuff that we're seeing here, and with smart contracts coming, we're seeing all of a sudden like, oh, this could be really useful. Like, so imagine that guy. Imagine my friend who's out in a rural area in northern Ghana, and he wants to expand his cell phone stand, right? Using this infrastructure, like the kind of things that are being rolled out in Ethiopia, they're using it for education, but those kinds of things, and when smart contracts are in place, you could very well replicate like what Kiva does for microloans, and you could just do loans that way and facilitate them that way. And then like, think of it this way, instead of doing like, if someone tries to send you like to repay a loan from West Africa to the United States, each transaction costs that person like $50 to $75 just to send the money back. That's insane. Whereas like if you like had like loaned them money with a smart contract using ADA, it's like a network, that's to get off the exchange. The network fee is like 0.17 ADA, right? Which even in today's price is like 20 cents maybe, 20 cents versus like $75 to get like your repayments for a microloan that you do. So the opportunity here is huge in terms of like actual real utility and like actually solving problems and like actually getting things done. Everybody's so excited about DeFi right now, but that's like speculative and exciting for people that just like crypto. It's not actually doing anything yet, right? Like, yes, people are getting real gains. Yes, people are doing real loans, but mostly the consumers of these loans, the ones who are, you know, getting the loans, like both the lenders and the receivers, are mostly people that are already interested in crypto. And Charles talks about this. He brings up a really good point when he says the reason why people are excited about DeFi right now, the users, the consumers of DeFi right now are people who already like crypto, and they're doing it because they're excited about it and they're chasing gains or whatever else. The real value is going to come when we have these blockchain technologies and the consumers of it are people that are not necessarily fans of blockchain, but are people who want to have a problem solved, and blockchain helps them solve that problem. So that's where you start getting into these fundamental analysis of why a project could last in the long run. So there you go, long answer there, but really cool stuff, I think. Okay, I like their stake pool is one of the highest among Cardano YouTubers. It gives us followers more confidence in the channel. Oh, that our stake is one of the highest. Yeah, so, and that's deliberate on our side, right? Like, you know, you see like the model of like stake pools. So for stake pools, it's hard because, so Jaron and I, we're both software developers. We're very familiar with code and like the kinds of things that are involved in running the stake pool. But there's a lot of developers in the world. So as a stake pool operator, you're like, how do you differentiate yourself? And so you see that a lot of times people will start up channels or do other things as a way to attract delegators. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you'll see that like the pledge will maybe be lower either for whatever number of reasons. But for us, what we want to do is we want to try and give you all multiple reasons to find confidence in delegating to our pool, right? Because when you were first getting started with Cardano, maybe you saw one of our tutorials that helped you get your ADA safely delegated off of your hardware or software wallet. Maybe like our videos that help you understand how keys work and stuff. And so we try and do that as you're first getting started. But then from there, once you're comfortable with these things, that's the purpose of our weekly recap videos, is to then keep you informed and help you keep growing. And so we can all grow together as we learn these things. But then on top of that, we don't want it to be that's compensating for having like a low pledge. So we're dedicated to like having like as high as we can afford to do with our own investment. Even though we started early, like there's still only so much that we can do, but like everything that we can, we try and put towards the pledge to show you guys that we're dedicated to it. And then like we say, sort of practicing what we preach. We talk all the time about making your plans, setting your levels, doing your thing. And so we do that. And so I'll just tell you, we were following pretty closely here, or I was anyway, following pretty closely here. Here's my Fibonacci's again. I love Fibs. The Cardano Ethereum chart. And, when we got into some of this reload zone here, I personally sold some of my Ethereum for ADA. And so that's why you saw our pledge went up by, I think it was like 26K or something, because I sold some of my ETH into ADA to give you all like a larger pledge for the pool, to your point, to show that like our seriousness and commitment to the pool there. So, oh, look at that. This guy didn't like our live stream. By the way, I wanted to show you this too. So if you go to pool.pm and you type in the pool ID, you can actually see it's really, really cool. This is the Smog is the name of the pool that put this together. You can see a live ticker of everything going on with the pool. So you can see as delegators come in. This is a brand new delegator, for example, who just joined fresh. This is somebody who came from another stake pool over to us. These are like delegators who are buying additional. So look at all our dollar cost averagers that are like buying more. So yeah, so there's a cool way you can visualize the pool tool. The other thing you do too is you can click on here and it'll actually show you everyone, which is kind of neat. So if you want to like, I don't know, it's kind of fun, sort of see everybody all at once, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so anyway, so our commitment to you is to try and like, not only try and bring the educational content to get you started, but try and help keep you informed and ourselves as well by going through these weekly recaps. And then, trying to run a reliable stake pool and also make sure that we can put a pledge as much as we can afford to do to show you like our dedication and level there. So, okay, cool. We got some really good chat going on here. So we're up to 25 likes. We have 36 people that are viewing, and I know some of the previous likes have already left. So please, if you haven't yet, give the video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. And we'll probably go for another 5 or 10 minutes. So if you have a friend who might enjoy the stream, please share it with them. Get your last questions in. Like I said, we'll probably go for about another 5 or 10 minutes. So if you have any other questions, let me know. I've got a few tabs here of stuff that we can go through. I have data list pulled up. If anybody has any questions about anything about data lists or any of the other wallets. So yeah. All right. And let me make sure I had some notes here. I'll make sure I didn't miss anything. Wallets, price action. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, let me go through the questions that we already have. Smart money knows the importance of ADA. That's why in 2 or 3 years it will rocket. Yeah, no guarantees, Tessark, but I would not be surprised if we saw the price appreciate substantially in the next few years. The ecosystem opens the door to smart contracts. Agreed. Smart contracts would be a huge deal. Oh, and then one thing that one of our community members mentioned in from the Africa special is that something that kind of snuck in there at the very end is that aside from everything we've talked about, and like the Plutus Pioneer program and how that's helping people get up to speed and ready to go to be able to write smart contracts, IOHK has a totally separate initiative that what they're doing is they're basically building like a conversion to be able to let ERC20 tokens and smart contracts from Ethereum also work on the Cardano blockchain. So think about all these people who have all these dApps and all this smart contract work that's done on Ethereum, but they are like really hurting because of the gas fees and how expensive they are. They'll be able to bring those over. So not only will there be the organic development that happens when Alonzo goes live and we have smart contracts, but then there will also be the ones who already have their dApps and their smart contracts. They'll be able to migrate over from the Ethereum blockchain to the Cardano blockchain, and that will, to a certain degree, will happen naturally just because of like cost reduction strategies. So that's something to keep in mind there. There you go, the ERC20 converter, Vidimon. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You cannot build an identity system in our blockchain. So the whole like identity system is something that no other blockchains are talking about, and it's a really, really exciting thing. True to Me asked, do you have a recommendation for Cardano programming in interactive applications interesting in learning Plutus, but is there a better language for dApps or Web3? So the other thing too that I'll say, I want to learn more programming with Cardano. So the fastest way, if you want to like hit the ground running early, is if you don't know Haskell, to get up to speed with Haskell. Let me find the blog here. There's a thing here, Plutus, what you need to know. So what they talk about in this article is here. So here's the thing. So True to Me, here you go. Check out this blog post. They talk about the stuff that you're going to want to make sure you understand these different things. Plutus is written in Haskell, so you'll want to know Haskell to be able to do that effectively. But they are also, aside from the ERC20 converter, there's a concerted effort that is in place to do bridges for the most popular development languages in the world. I believe they are the ones that they're doing bridges for. I believe is JavaScript, Java, and C++. I think. I know for sure JavaScript and Java. And so if you're also a developer in any of those languages, know that there are plans that are already being laid in the short to midterm future about doing on-ramps for people to be able to write dApps in their preferred language of choice. So there's also that. But if you want to do it as quickly as possible, Haskell is the way to go with like Plutus itself. Oh, and then the final thing I'll say is we also covered this in a previous weekly recap. I'd have to hunt around for which one it was, but they are also going to, when smart contracts come out, they're also going to release like a way to be able to do smart contracts through a user interface that you don't need to know programming at all. That you could, if you know how to like make financial contracts and things, you could just like drag and click and stuff. So that'll also be there. So to recap, fastest way if you want to be developing dApps is through Plutus with Haskell. Shortly after that, there'll be an on-ramp for other popular software development languages, so be on the lookout for that. And if you're not a developer and you have no intention of learning that stuff, then you can wait for the UI to come out. Okay, staking content is easy to. So Tickle Tiger says our staking content is easy to understand and very informative. Great work, thank you. Really appreciate it. No good with math. If you're not, so I would say then just maybe wait for the UI to come out and then just do it that way. All right, let me make sure that there was nothing else here that I wanted to cover. So we're still stuck at 25 like, guys. Come on, give it a few more likes. And yeah, and like I said, let me just kind of we'll sign off here. How about this? So I'll say thank you again to everybody for all the support in the channel. It's been great. I mean, you know, we're at here. We're coming up on 1,500 subscribers. Our original live stream was to celebrate 1,000. It's been a really, really fun ride. We really appreciate all the support in the comments, in the Telegram group. Oh, join our Telegram group if you haven't, and we can chat there. And yeah, thanks for the support when the whole thing went down with Twitter and we were incorrectly terminated. Your support on Twitter and stuff was invaluable. We really appreciate it. If you think that the channel is useful and you enjoy the content, or if you want to, you know, have your friends come and join us on the ASPEN stake pool, share the channel, share the pool. You know, let's grow our investments together. So thank you everybody for coming out. It's been a really, really fun ride so far doing this with you guys. We're planning on doing more live streams in the future. We'll probably do them maybe monthly, unless you guys specifically want to do them more often. Yeah, keep a lookout for more live streams in the future, and let us know actually in the comments below, or you can let us know in comments of other videos if there are specific topics that you want to see us covering in the future. We have a couple of ideas for our upcoming tutorial topics, but if there's specific things that you want to see us cover, please let us know. We'll cover them for you. So thank you all so much. This has really been a blast. Wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. And yeah, we're really, really excited to see the community growing. Join us in the Telegram channel. I'll link that one more time. And yeah, this has been really, really fun. So let's do this again. And have a good night, guys. If we don't talk to you soon on comments or in Telegram, then we'll see you for the weekly recap on Sunday. Thanks a lot. Have a good night.